Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope this show finds you in good spirits because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let us not forget that. Another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. All right. We have a little bit of catching up we got to do in regards to this particular case. Allegedly, there's going to be a press conference around 1 o'clock today. So we are here for that too. We are here to see that and discuss some of the new updates that have come out, that have transpired and all that. We are here to talk about it all and then some, okay? We got a lot going on. I couldn't watch the press conference from yesterday, unfortunately, last night with you guys live. I was busy, but we are here nonetheless to talk about these things and then some, okay? So do me a favor before we get into everything, because, man, this is it. This is the time of year when everything is very, very busy, but we're doing everything we can to keep up and give you guys all the information that you need. So hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, please show some love. Simply hit that follow button down below. If you are watching on YouTube, the main channel, what's up? Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Go to the secondary channel, the Pascal Show clips, because there's a lot of content that's going to be going on over there. And I have been putting out, as of late, over there on the secondary channel, some things that we aren't talking about over here, and vice versa. So make sure you subscribe to both channels. The Pascal Show clips, that's my second channel, and the Pascal Show right here. Subscribe. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon and my locals. I got them, so check them out. It's on the ticker down below. All right. Don't forget, as well, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff like this. And then some. Holy-ish, what a year. And it has been one hell of a year. So make sure you go over to PascalMerch.com and check that stuff out. We got some really great stuff, guys. Hoodies, t-shirts, and then some. Go check it out. All right? Then, of course, I do have that GoFundMe. It's pinned at the top of the chat right now as we speak. I'm putting together a Christmas special at the tail end of it right now because it's about to be coming out very, very soon. But we are in the midst of doing all that, which is very exciting. So please be sure to show some love and simply check it out. And if you can contribute, that'd be amazing. A little goes a very, very long way. All right? Okay. Let us get started. Yes, allegedly everything starts. Yes, Wani. Apparently they are doing a press conference at 1 p.m. So in about 17 minutes, there's going to be some new information that's going to drop regarding this whole tragedy. Now, if you don't know, yesterday morning was one of the worst ever for this school. Any person that was at that school, matriculating, working at that school, whatever, yesterday was a terrible, terrible day. Abundant Life Christian Christian school, is now in the headlines because of one particular person decided to walk into that school with a handgun, and open fire on students and staff at this particular school. Now, everybody and their mama has been wanting to know what's been going on. First off, what we know, unless there's new updates, we know that 3 individuals lost their lives at the scene. That includes the actual assailant as well, a teacher as well, and a student. 3 people lost their lives at the scene. Others were sent, about 6 other people were sent to various hospitals where some were able to walk out at the end of the day with minor injuries, and some are still clinging to life right now as we speak. And I am praying for all of their speedy recovery. And let me just say this too now, and I'm sure I'm going to say it again like a broken record, because we cannot not say this, but may May whoever lost their lives rest in peace, but also we need to send as much bright and warm and as much healing light and energy towards that school and all the people that are affected by this. Okay. And obviously this goes out to all of us that are deeply, deeply affected by this, because we are all tired of the same MO. We are tired of this happening over and over again. It's a tale as old as time. We have heard this story a million times over. There needs to be something figured out, and it needs to be figured out as soon as possible. But this one's a little different. This is not something that we hear very often. Now, the assailant's name, age, and gender have finally been revealed. And I'm going to say this too. I'm going to wait. We're just going to say it. We're going to tell you guys the name, which, of course, it's already in the title up above, down below, wherever you're watching this show. The news has already talked about this because this happened and that information broke last night. This particular assailant's name is Natalie Rupnow. She also goes by Samantha. Now, I want to make this abundantly clear. This is a female. She was born a girl. She is a female girl. In fact, I get it. Kids get real interesting and get real creative. When we grow up, we've all had our weird moments. We've all had our moments where we're like, nah, I'm going to wear black eyeliner because I want to be different and all that stuff. Even so, she even went by a female name. I mean, her God-given name, her parents, when she was born into the world, they said, I named thee Natalie. But for some weird reason, she was calling herself Samantha. So she is also 15 years old. Now, I want to make this abundantly clear. She's not trans. Okay? Stop it with the mess. Stop it. Because now you guys are starting to sound idiotic out here. Still trying to change the narrative. Still trying to move the goalpost. What did I say last night, y'all? What did I say yesterday? What did I say? Wait for the information to drop before you start going, oh, she trans, damn migrants. Stop it. Sit down. Have a Coke and a smile and wait for the information to drop before you start talking messy out here in these doggone streets. Stop it. Okay? Please and thank you. Now, what's interesting and unique about this situation is that we are starting to learn, one, that this is a female. No, not born a male and then now identifies as female. No. Female. Not only are we hearing that she is female, one, she's 15 years old. Second, allegedly there is a manifesto out here. Okay? There is a manifesto out here. There's a possibility that it is hers, but that has not been what we know right now. Police are still trying to figure it out because they don't know where it came from. Don't worry, we're going to talk about that information too. No, I'm not reading the manifesto here. All right. Until we actually have confirmation that it is hers, I'm not going to say hers. I'm not going to say anything here. Okay. Because there has been some things where people are like, oh, she's some radicalized feminist. No truths of that have been proven yet. See now. This is what the press conference is for, right? This is when we get information, first and foremost. We want to know why she did this, for sure. She did this. We want to know why she did this. But second off, most importantly as well, is how did she get this weapon in the first place? Did she steal it? Was it handed to her? Was it a gift from her papa? What's going on here? Of course, we want to know her reasons why. Is it politically motivated? Is it motivated because of mental health issues? Clearly, there's mental health issues here. Clearly. No one just wakes up one day and says, I feel like just walking into school and opening fire. No one does that. No one of even balanced mind does that. That is clearly the sign of somebody that is got some issues and that they should be talked to and they should get professional help. But outside of that, why did she get this? How did she get this? Were there any other signs of her being unhealthy, mentally unhealthy, not mentally well? Were there any signs of those things? Were there any breadcrumbs that led us to this moment? Okay? Those are the things that we want to know. But let me repeat this again. And apparently, like I said, we talked about before, there were things that were circulating out here in these internet streets. The internet is undefeated, real talk. And there was information about her. Apparently, she was actually pretty good with that pew-pew. In fact, there's a photo of her right there. Apparently, she was part of some type of shooting club. So she was good with this stuff. She knew how to handle a firearm. This is not her first rodeo. But it does make you wonder what actually happened here. Who is this girl and what actually happened? Now, from what I'm hearing now too is that she recently turned 15. So she was a young, still brand new to the year 15. Basically, you could say she was still 14 in a way. I mean, even though she's really technically 15, but you know what I mean. Pretty insane, terrifying stuff. Again, are there any breadcrumbs that showed any behavioral issues in the past that led her to what she ended up doing now? Is this a Ethan Crumbley or Colt Gray situation again? Are we looking at parents that just have their weapons strewn about and it doesn't matter? Or parents that think that by giving her a weapon, it's going to make her more adult? These are questions I'm wondering. Now, I just want to repeat real quick. Around 10:57 a.m. yesterday, there was a phone call made by a second grader, by the way. A second grader was actually seeing this carnage and called 911. First responder, first person on the scene, cop on the scene, walked right in there within 3 minutes. Now, what we understand is by 11:05, Natalie, Samantha Rupnow was found gone. Now, my understanding, there must have been some sort of standoff thing going on, and then she turned and she finished her own sentence, if you get what I'm saying. That is possible. But nonetheless, they say when they got there, and she did this to herself, no other way around that. I believe the police when they say that, because I believe if they were to neutralize, they would have said it. But within 3 minutes after the phone call, first cop ran into that place. And then, of course, about 5 minutes, because that's about 11. So 5 minutes later, which is plenty, ample enough time to do some damage. 6 people were severely injured, or 6 people were injured in varying degrees of severity, and 2 other people lost their lives, a teacher and a student. Now, this is Natalie Samantha Rupnow. Now, there's been some interesting stuff that's been out here. First of all, I want to share this photo one more time so that you guys can see this, because we got about 5 more minutes until this alleged press conference is supposed to be popping off. All right. But I want you to see this t-shirt that she had on. Now, even myself, I didn't catch this. I was wondering what she was wearing for sure. But if I was a parent, I don't know if I would know what this is unless I don't know. Me, myself, because I'm inquisitive. I'm an inquisitive mother lover. I'd probably be like, what is that shirt, honey? What are you wearing? I'd be Googling. I'd be Googling the hell out of this. I'm going to keep it a bean. But that's me. I'm nosy. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to want to know what the hell's going on. But now we're starting to understand that that is a shirt that she was copying. It's a copycat. She apparently was praising people, monsters of school tragedies, of past school tragedies. In fact, apparently idolized them, including serial monsters as well. Take a look at this. It says right here that she was wearing a shirt, same shirt that one of the people, one of the monsters from the Columbine tragedy was wearing as well, as like some sort of homage to one of the originators, to one of the original first school tragedies. You got to remember, it's that tragedy that started this all, for the most part, and became more of a mainstream thing. Ain't that something? One thing that we thought was going to be just kind of a flash in the pan, one of those wild freak type of tragedies that would never happen ever again, happens every year, multiple times a year. Ain't that something? So let me share this with you guys real quick. So she reportedly wore that same shirt as the Columbine monster. All right. So Natalie, and her middle name is Lynn. Natalie Lynn Rupnow, who also went by Samantha. Hence the reason why there was a lot last night. There was so many conflicting pieces of information out there where people were sitting there going, no, her name is Samantha. No, her name is Natalie. And, oh, no, she's 17. No, she's 15. But she's actually 15 years old. "15 years old, okay? She did this at her school, Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin, has reportedly been pictured wearing the same T-shirt as the Columbine. Rupnow was identified last night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in a news conference in Wisconsin on Wednesday. Since then, posts and pictures of her social media and the social media of her family members have been circulating, including photos of her purported to be wearing that garment, which we all, and it's right there again, you see right there, okay? Rupnow, of course, we already know what she did yesterday. She fatally took the life of a teacher and a fellow student. She wounded 6 others before doing this to herself with a hand weapon, okay? Officials have said her family is cooperating with the investigation and her home is being searched. But by the way, one thing I am kind of curious about, because one thing that they do say is like, yeah, they're cooperating, they're being very cooperative with the investigation. Then why did they have to rip the door off the hinges of that house? The only other thing I can think of is either that wasn't the house that she lives in, or that house, no one was there. So they had to rip the door off the hinges. Okay? So that's very interesting now. Okay? Lorraine, you're not listening. It says it right here. Right here. She's wearing a T-shirt that says you're spinning, you're trying to spin words. See, this is the issue. This is the issue. This is my nightmare. Okay? This is the issue that we live in, but we're going to move on. Okay? Listen and look at the screen. It says it right here. She's wearing a shirt that Columbine monster actually wore too. So what does that tell you? Has nothing to do with Kamala Harris or Trump or anything of that sort. She was glorifying these individuals for sure. I'm not moving no goalpost. I'm just stating facts. Now, very interesting, right? So let's continue on. Hold on real quick. Let's see. Well, they haven't started yet. So I'm going to show you guys what I mean. They haven't started yet, but it is happening. Okay. It's going to be happening very, very soon. They'll be on in due time. All right. Just so you guys know. So I'm keeping an eye on it because you know how it is. They're probably collecting as much information as they can before they actually jump into it. Now, one thing is also for sure. Okay. Because again, I'm not taking any sides. I stand on the side of good. I don't give a damn. I'm not trying to change anything to fit my narrative. My narrative is always making sure that evil goes down, that the evil gets caught. Period. I'm not changing the narrative, so it works for me. Hail to the nah. We are here for facts. She is female. She is Caucasian. She is 15. Her name is Natalie. She goes by Samantha, but her name is Natalie Rupnow. Now, here's the other piece, okay? Let me just take one peek just to make sure they haven't hopped on. Okay, cool. Let me just make this one thing very clear. Let's take a look at this, okay? It says Manifesto. Let's talk about this because a lot of people are starting to spread all over the internet a manifesto that last night they were like, we cannot confirm whether that is hers or not. Look at this here. Police can't find person who posted this document. So they can't even put something in and track it back to her. So right now they're still trying to figure out if she is the one who actually posted it. You got to remember, there are plenty of crazies out here that will post anything. As soon as a tragedy happens, they throw out names. Listen, I was getting emails, okay? I was getting emails. Real talk. I'm just checking to make sure. I was getting emails from some of y'all sending me things, throwing photos of a man and being like, look, she's trans. She used to be a man. Now she a woman. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, stop moving the goalpost. You don't know for sure. Let's wait till they give us the information. So here, it's the same thing with the manifesto. People putting out things and saying, oh, that be the manifesto. She a damn feminist. She a extreme feminist. Do we know that yet? Let's wait and find out the information. Wanda Young, thank you so much for letting me know that. So the press conference won't be happening for another 20 minutes. Okay, great. But I will keep an eye on that nonetheless. But people are sending me emails saying, oh yeah, she's trans. See this old foggy, blurred out photo of a boy? That was her before. Now she's this. Like, come on. Like I said, people put out some crazy stuff. Okay? And yes, you're right. You're right, miss. You are right. Mainstream media doesn't have it right all the time. Sometimes they change and bend the rules too and bend the narrative. Let's not forget, they put out the mainstream CNN, CBS, or whatever, put out the age being 17 years old. She wasn't 17. So they were absolutely wrong, and they put that out for everyone to consume. There was also during the press conference, the first press conference, he said 3 people lost their lives, and then there were 7 people in the5 right? While we were in the press conference, somebody in the news just barks out, we just have confirmation that 5 have lost their lives and 5 are severely injured, only to find out that wasn't even the doggone truth. So like I said, it's like, wait for the information before we start, dressing things up. Wait for the information, dagnabbit. So we already know that they say, okay, so police in Madison, Wisconsin say a document about Monday's tragedy, okay, is circulating on the social medias. And they have not, as far as this reporting, maybe this press conference, they're going to confirm something here soon. Maybe they will say that it has been verified, but they have been going on interviews as of late and saying that it has not been verified. So the manifesto could very well be just some jerk, some troll out here putting out information that isn't true. So they, of course, Newsweek, the article I'm reading here, contacted MPD by email for a comment. So we already know that she did this. Her name is Natalie Rupnow. She's 15, not 17 years old. Okay, 6 other people were injured during this tragedy and taken to nearby hospitals. 2 students remain in critical condition, hoping for a speedy and swift and safe recovery for those 2. Okay, and have life-threatening injuries. Police said Monday night a teacher and 3 students were treated for non-threatening injuries. Maybe they twisted their ankle. Maybe they, there may be a few bruises, stuff like that, but nothing crazy. Probably just from trying to run away. Okay. And 2 of them have been discharged from the hospital, which is great news. The other 2 survivors are considered stable, which is fantastic news as well. So this is the 83rd K through 12 school tragedy. Wow. Of 2024. The 83rd of this year. According to Gun Violence Archive. That's insane. Investigators say Natalie, Rupnow's father, and other family members have been cooperating with police who searched their home. Meanwhile, a Google Docs link posted on X, formerly known as, we already know, Prince, no, I'm kidding, Twitter, which many social media users believe to be Rupnow's manifesto, remains private, meaning readers can only view it if the document's owner grants them access. So again, there is a manifesto that's just been out here in these streets and everyone's going, oh, that be her. We don't know. The police have not confirmed it yet. So we wait and we wait for them to tell us what's up. That's just, I feel, the most responsible approach to this whole thing. Instead of putting out stuff that isn't true, like putting up photos of other random old photos of men or like young men and saying that is the original, that's Natalie before she transitioned type stuff. Stop. That's not good. Okay. So at the time of publication, the X account in question, Postal Brained, had been made private, so the Google Docs link is no longer available to the public. Now, there has been other photos that have been seen where allegedly they're alleging that she is throwing up some sort of gang sign in a stall. You see her wearing, they say, and I'm not sharing it because I don't know if it's it's like a hand signal that I don't know. I'm not sharing it. Okay. But allegedly she took a photo of of her flashing this gang sign, and you could see her wearing like army boots and like combat boots and all that stuff. Like she was suited and literally booted, kind of like trench coat mafia from back Columbine days, from the Columbine situation, the trench coat mafia. All right. Same thing with that t-shirt that she was wearing and all that. So again, yes, I keep on thinking that. I thought it was like she was flashing us like the devil sign, the mark of the beast, 666. That's kind of what I was thinking as well. Like I said, she was thinking some very, if it is her and if it is true, she been out here saying, like she been out here thinking some very dark thoughts. Let's just say that. The X account with a bio reading, God forbid they know I'm human, was created this month and has only made 7 posts. And some of those posts were her like throwing out this alleged gang sign. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I was wondering what KMFDF was, what it stood for. But I also heard, from what I remember back in the day with the Columbine thing, it is an actual heavy metal band or something like that. I think it's a band, heavy metal band. And again, it was stuff that those guys were listening to back then. That's what they were listening to back then. She idolized these guys. She was dressed up like, from what it seems like, from the vibe I'm getting, because if that gang sign photo, which you see black pants, like she's wearing like black cargo pants, and then she's wearing black combat boots. If she's doing if she was dressed exactly how these guys were dressed on the day of that tragedy in Columbine, that is terrifying. That's terrifying. So I'm quite curious as to what is going on here. But let's continue on here as we continue to wait because it has not happened yet. Let's move on. So, so this article reviewed the profile before it was made private. I've seen it myself as well. On Monday at 11:45 a.m., a faceless, captionless photo was uploaded of a person dressed all in black in what appears to be a bathroom stall, making an okay sign with their hand. So, what people are saying. So, the chief of police, Barnes, during a press conference on Monday, said, we haven't been able to verify that that document is authentic. We're certainly aware that it's been posted and the person who posted it alleged to have a connection with the victim. Or maybe the assailant. Anyway, the person who posted this particular document is alleged to have a connection with the victim. I have not located him yet. So it does make you wonder, connection with the victim? Maybe the connection with the victim, but maybe a connection with the assailant. So while we have a little bit of time, which is, I think is a good thing because it gives us a chance to look at a few things before we get into this press conference. There was an interview that was done on News Nation, and I want to share that with y'all while we wait because that press conference has not happened, it has not started yet. But there's an interview with the chief of police of the Madison Police Department, Chief Barnes. So I want to share that. Let's take a look at this.
Now I have the Madison Police Chief, Sean Barnes. Chief, thank you so much for hopping on with me this morning. Just a horrific day for that school and your community. First off, how is the community doing this morning and how are those victims doing this morning?
Good morning, Marky, and thanks for having me on. Our community this morning is trying to wrestle with what happened. We're trying to determine how something like this could happen yet again in our country and in our community. We're still praying for the victims. We know we have 2 in critical condition, but we do know that 2 went home last night who had non-life-threatening injuries. Our community is really trying to grapple with this. We're trying to demonstrate some transparency and some leadership and trying to let everyone know that our police department will investigate this case thoroughly, and any information that we can release, we will certainly do that using our media.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for everything that transpired yesterday and thinking of those families. Any updates from overnight on the shooting, Chief, and how and why it took place?
The only updates I can share with you is that the family, of course, have been cooperating with us. We spoke in length with the child's father last night. We hope some information and some things that we collected from the home during the execution of a search of that home that was done voluntarily. And so hopefully we will have a press conference today at 1. Yesterday we had about 4 press conferences about every 2.5 hours we were having.
I do want to say this too. There was a lot of press conferences yesterday. And I know everybody would, like, even myself, got a little irritated about it, but I do appreciate that they were giving basically play-by-play, update by update every single time they knew something, that they were getting out there as quickly as possible and getting as transparent as they could. So I do appreciate them doing that. Real talk. I love and appreciated that. Okay. That's a lot of press conferences, but a lot of people want to know what the hell's going on. Now I did see Dee's statement. I am looking that up to see if that's actually true. Okay. Because if that's now 4, then that means one of the 2 that were in critical condition has slipped away, has passed on, which is absolutely terrible, because that would be 4, including the assailant, including this girl. So that is just terrible. But it's on X. I'm gonna look it up. I'll look it up. Let me play a little bit more of this, because we do have that press conference here happening probably in the next 5 minutes. All right. But let's hear what the chief got to say.
Press conferences trying to keep the public updated through our media.
Yeah, of course, everybody waiting for a motive to drop as well. Our correspondent there on the ground, Mills Hayes, just laid out and mentioned this online document that's been circulating, about the shooting. Have you verified its authenticity yet? And was it a manifesto of sorts?
We have not verified that as of yet. We hope to do that sometime early this morning with some documents that we perhaps have taken from the home to see if there's any synchronicity in that. And so we want to make sure that before we put any information out that we are certainly as accurate as we possibly can, knowing that things may change. But we also want to make sure that if this document is being circulated, that parents know about it. That you have an opportunity to talk with your children and say, hey, have you heard about this document? Have you heard about this type of ideology? And are you involved with that? Right now, the main purpose is to make sure that if there's any parent around the country that's wondering what their child is involved in, and we can provide information, that we do that. We have to do everything in our power to prevent these from happening again and again and again in our country.
Yeah. What more did you find at the shooter's home? I know you say parents are cooperating right now. Anything else that you found at the home that you can share with us this morning, or even any more insights into how that gun was procured?
Well, we have working with our partners at the ATF to expedite what's called an ATF trace form, and that will give us some idea of the origins of that.
Okay, so apparently press conference is happening, so let's go and take a look at that. Wait, hold on. There it is. Let me just roll back a tiny bit. Let's take a look. Yeah, I was looking for that KTLA thing. I didn't find anything. So
good afternoon, everyone.
We'll find out here soon enough.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here today. We'll be providing an additional update as we have moved now into the investigation phase of this tragic incident. I'll be making some prepared remarks and will not be taking questions. My name is Chief Sean Barnes, SHONBARNES, and I'm the Chief of Police for the Madison Police Department. The past 24 hours have been a flurry of emotion, sadness, anger, disappointment, grief for the Madison community. We were brought together by a tragedy, and today 3 families woke up this morning to a world without a loved one. And that can never be outdone.
Hold on. I real quick, I'm not trying to interrupt this. You guys are going to have to turn it all the way up. I have it all the way up over here. Okay. Sound is up and on, just so y'all know. It is primarily coming out of my left ear. So I would just wear some headphones or something like that. Okay. Let's rock and roll.
In the midst of this tragedy, our community has come together in an incredible demonstration of support from Madison and indeed the state of Wisconsin and our nation. I cannot express enough gratitude to the many emergency response agencies who provided direct support to the Madison Police Department. We could not be standing here today without the men and women of law enforcement, specifically the Madison Fire Department, surrounding EMS agencies, Dane County Sheriff's Office, Monona PD, Oregon PD, the University of Wisconsin Police Department, the ATF, the FBI, Fitchburg Police Department, and Cottage Grove. A special thank you from me to all of these agencies. Thank you so much. These agencies and many others responded to the scene and or took calls for service within the city of Madison to allow us to focus on this tragic incident. Student reunification with their loved ones could not have happened as swiftly as it did without the assistance of SSM Health Dean Medical Clinic, as well as the Quick Trip. Additionally, many people worked well into the night and supported local restaurants and community who came together and provided food and other logistical support for our team. Yesterday, we came together as one team, as one Madison, as one country, and we should feel incredibly proud about our response. I'll be providing some updates at this time, but before I do that, I'd like to provide an important clarification. Yesterday, after looking at the computer-aided dispatch system, it seems as if a call came from a second grader. It actually read the call came from a second grade teacher. That was a mistake. That's my responsibility, and I apologize, and I clarify that today. It did not come from a second grader. It read second grade teacher. I will also be providing several investigative updates from the 8 p.m. briefing from last night. The Madison Police Department is committed to transparency and will continue to release information that can be used to improve public safety. This must be balanced against our commitment to the victims of this horrific crime and the need to do a thorough and complete investigation. As a result, I recognize many of you may have questions that I cannot answer at this time.
Damn.
I ask for you to keep the victims in your mind and respect their right to a thorough investigation. I also will not be taking questions at the conclusion of this press conference.
No
Your
questions.
pre-submitted questions serve as the basis for updates that we're providing for you this afternoon. If your
Okay.
question is not answered, it is due to an ongoing investigation. Okay. We know a document has been widely shared on social media. At this time, we cannot verify its authenticity. We have detectives working today to determine where this document originated and who actually shared it online. At this time, we cannot verify the document. We ask that you not share the document or spread any information that may be false. Our department will provide an update on this document when we can.
No confirmation on
There are
Manifesto.
always signs of a school shooting before it occurred. Some of you have reached out about Rupnow's social media activity prior to yesterday's shooting. We're looking into her online activity. We're asking anyone who knew her or who may have insights into her feelings leading up to yesterday to please contact the Madison Area Crime Stoppers. Again, anyone who may have known her or knew what she was feeling or going through at that time, please direct those inquiries to Madison Area Crime Stoppers. That number is 608-266-6014 or at P3 Tips. P3 Tips. We will not be releasing specifics about these social media accounts at this time.
Come on, man.
Identifying a motive is our top priority. But at this time, it appears that the motive was a combination of factors. Again, we cannot share that information at this time because we do not want to jeopardize the investigation and those who are currently cooperating with us. All patient status remain unchanged. The 911 calls are the record of the 911 communications center, and their standing operating procedure is not to release documents in open and active investigations. Again, we are working to authenticate the documents that you see online that some are referring to as a manifesto. And as soon as we do that, we will let you know. Now, the process for doing that is looking at original documents that may have been taken from the suspect's home, looking at information that may be on laptops or on computer to determine if this document originated from our suspect. Any disciplinary records would be under the purview of the school. Some of you have asked whether or not she was troubled or whether or not she was troubled at school. We do not have those records. We're not the proprietor of those. On the question of bullying, we're talking to students to understand whether bullying was one of those multiple factors that I mentioned earlier. Some have asked if people were specifically targeted. Everyone was targeted in this incident, and everyone was put in equal danger. Today, numerous MMSD schools were targeted by false threats, often known as swatting. We're working closely with the Madison Metropolitan School District to determine where these originated and to investigate this call. We do not believe that there are any current threats to any Madison area schools, and will continue to investigate these calls and any threats of violence as they come in. Let me be clear on this point. Making false threats is a crime, and we are working with the district attorneys to prosecute these crimes as information is gathered. And if we have to do that, we certainly will. I encourage all parents, all family members to talk to your loved ones about this. We will determine where they originated. We'll use federal partners if we have to and levy those charges as well. As we continue to investigate what happened yesterday, we're keeping the victims and their families in the front of our minds. We want to thank the countless people and organizations who've reached out to support them, as well as the Dane County Victim Witness Unit and the Dane County Emergency Management, who provided direct support to the families. To the Abundant Life Christian Academy, this is a hurting and haunting situation, and the many survivors will need our continued support, and we pledge to give them that in the days, months, and even years ahead. As a community, we must not allow violence or any act of violence to define us. We refuse to allow hate or destruction to win in this city, but rather we will honor our survivors, our victims through love, support, and the Madison way. Please continue to take care of yourself and take care of each other. At this time, we have several officers who are working today who was working yesterday. They were given the opportunity to stay home on what we commonly refer to as an administrative day. They were offered peer support, emergency assistance program through our city. But those officers chose to come to work today and serve their community. So at the end of my remarks, I'm going to find each and every one of them and personally shake their hand and thank them on behalf of a grateful city, on a grateful administration, and a grateful department and profession for their act of selfless public service. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief.
I want to start where the chief ended, which is just asking everyone in this room and within the sound of my voice to take a minute. It's been an incredibly difficult 24 plus hours at this point in time. We're all human, including each and every one of you in the media who is covering this really tragic event. Please remember that you're human and take care of yourselves. We all need to do that. Drink water, take a moment, access whatever mental health resources you need, because that's our job now, is to take care of ourselves so we can take care of each other and our community. Yesterday, the Madison community experienced a terrible and traumatic event. If there's any positive in it, it's that the educators at Abundant Life, our local law enforcement and first responders, and our community partners were prepared to respond. They acted without hesitation to protect our children, and I'm grateful and humbled by their actions. It's a day that I hoped never would come to our city, but like so many other communities, here we are. We will never be the same, but we will get through this together. I want to ask again that everyone please respect the privacy of the victims, their families, and those in the Abundant Life community. Right now, our full focus is on caring for those impacted. First and foremost, the victims and their families, the Abundant Life students and educators, our first responders, the students and educators across the city who woke up this morning and went into a school building not knowing if they would come home tonight. The incredible bravery of that act. I think all of our students and educators are feeling scared and vulnerable right now. We are also trying to care for our whole community because I believe we are all fearful and grieving and impacted. City of Madison is working closely with Dane County, with community partners, with state and federal government resources to provide support and counseling to all those affected. I want to direct folks to a new city resource website that's available at cityofmadison.com/resources, which includes trauma-informed community resources, updates, community mental health resources, and information about Vigil's other public events and where folks can donate to support the Abundant Life families in our community. I want to highlight two things that are also on that website. And once again, that website is cityofmadison.com/resources. If you wish to support the families, the request is that come in the form of financial support through a site set up by the United Way of Dane County. You can visit unitedwaydanecounty.org, or you can text help for ALCS to 40403. Again, that's help numeral 4 ALCS to 40403. The community is also invited to a vigil tonight by the Vel Phillips statue at the Capitol at 6 p.m. Again, that's at the Capitol building by the Vel Phillips statue at 6 p.m. I would ask that everyone, and particularly the folks in this room, please avoid spreading misinformation, particularly via social media. Please vet what you share, even if your wish to share is well-intentioned. There's so much that we do not know at this point, and we have to allow law enforcement the time and space for a careful and methodological investigation. Let them do their jobs. And above all, please respect the victims, respect the families, respect the school community, particularly on social media. I want to say a huge thank you again to all of our partners and those across the country who have reached out offering support and well wishes, including President Biden, who I talked to yesterday, Senator Baldwin, who I talked to yesterday, Congressman Pocan, Governor Evers, who called, and many others at every level of government and all across our community. I want to thank most particularly our first responders and everyone who mobilized yesterday to help. Certainly Madison Police Department and the many law enforcement agencies that were mobilized, the Madison Fire Department, the Sheriff, the State Patrol, the FBI, the ATF. I want to thank our hospitals that cared for the victims and the medical staff there. I want to thank Dane County, in particular, emergency management and the victim services unit. They have been incredible. I want to thank SSM Health and the Dean Clinic. They without hesitation, made their facility available to us. They canceled all appointments. They rearranged the facility. They put their staff at our disposal to make sure that the Abundant Life families could be reunited with their students. I couldn't be more grateful to them. I want to thank the United Way, both for setting up the donation site and for mobilizing resources across our community. I want to thank the Red Cross and the Salvation Army, the religious leaders who came to their unification site yesterday from across our community, and all of the community organizations and businesses that donated food and resources to the families and are still now offering support for our community. There are so many people who have offered support, resources, help, and well wishes, and we are grateful to every single one of them. I want to end where I started, which is centering our collective humanity. We all have to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of each other and our community. Whatever your belief or tradition is, I would ask that you find a way today, tomorrow, in the coming weeks, months, and years to be kind, to give grace, and to find ways, big or small, to help make our community a safer place for all of our children. Thank you, and I'll turn the podium to the county executive. We'll answer questions. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I forget that you're not a local. My name is Satya Rhodes Conway. I'm the mayor of Madison. That's Satya, last name Rapodes Conway. Satya Rhodes Conway, mayor of Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you.
Word.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm County Executive Melissa Agard, MELISSA AGARD. It's unfortunate that we are still having to navigate this absolutely horrific situation in our community. I come before you today as a community leader, as a mom, as a fellow Dane County resident, and like many of you, someone who is continuing to process what unfolded yesterday at Abundant Life Christian School and across our community. My heart aches for the students and families and teachers and the first responders at all levels, from the 911 officers to the folks that are at our coroner's office. Every single one of us has been impacted in an unimaginable reality by this situation. Our kids, my kids, teachers across our community, and in fact, across our nation, had to wake up and go to school today, and that was an act of bravery. Parents dropping their children off at after what we witnessed yesterday took an act of bravery and a belief in our community. And that's a bravery we should not have to put on the shoulders of our children and our families in our community. Let me be clear. These everyday actions that we have all experienced over the last 24 plus hours should not require bravery. They should be routine and joyful, especially at the end of a year, wrapping up a semester. Our kids should be laughing and learning and thinking about pajama day as they're heading into the holiday season. But right now, that's not the case. And right now, it's okay to not feel okay. It's how we move forward. And for some, the weight of this tragedy is overwhelming. I'm sure they're feeling sad and anxious and numb. We've heard that even from our police chief. And for others, they might just be feeling a little bit off, unsettled by the images that our news coverage is delivering to them in the fast-breaking social media world. And it's playing on repeat. And I am grateful for what it is that you all do. But this is impacting people in a different way. And I want you all to know, and people across our community, that their feelings are valid and they are not alone. Seeking support, talk into someone you trust. Simply admitting that you're not okay is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. And whether you're feeling hopeless or scared or just not quite yourself, know that there are resources here in Dane County and in our community that will be here and continue to be here to support you in order to help people move forward through the healing process. Believe me, we are in this together. That is the Dane County way. That's what we do best. Through painful conversations and tears and hugs and vigils, we're going to heal. We're not going to be the same, but we're going to heal. Part of that process is setting aside complacency and demanding change. As someone who served 12 years in our legislature and had a front row seat to the inaction of addressing gun violence in our communities, I'm not stepping aside from that mission in my life. There's going to be public debate about the motives and other aspects of this mass shooting. But let us remember this fact. Gun violence is the #1 killer of children in this country. That's a legacy we cannot accept. We cannot accept that. Part of the reason I feel so pained by this tragedy is that mass shootings feel like something that's ominous and hovering, and we're all wondering where and when the next one is going to occur. And guess what? It happened here. It happened right here. And I am so proud of the folks that I work with at the county and that the mayor works with in the city and our partners at the federal, state, and local level, and how it is that we've stepped up and responded to support people.
Who is this again? What's her name?
Better? Could we do different? I am sure. But did we do well? I am proud of the work that has been done in this community over the last 24 hours. And I assure you all today that we are going to continue to work like hell to stop future tragedies and to support our community that has been harmed by these actions. And for anyone that's out there listening, anywhere in this amazing world that we live, whether you're grieving or you're scared or you're angry or you're unsure or you're curious, take care of yourself, take care of the people who you love and whose lives you touch. Talk to someone, anyone. If you're not comfortable calling a number, there is someone in your life you can reach out to. No one is alone through this. We are strong in Dane County, and together we're going to get through this. And I know that there are questions that we all want answers to. And I am hopeful that we will have those answers sooner than longer. But please give us the time to do this right so that we can learn how to prevent this from happening in the future and support those that have been most impacted in our community. We are doing everything in our power at all levels in a collaborative way to prevent this type of pain from ever happening again in our community. Can I assure that? No, but we are going to work as best as we can to that end. So thank you to each of you for carrying these stories, for taking care of yourselves, and for delivering these messages to the people in our community that just want one more piece of information. Thank you for being here.
That's not the mayor. Definitely not the mayor.
Right.
That's the mayor right here.
Executive and I,
This is the mayor.
will take some questions. We obviously cannot answer questions about the investigation.
If you can't answer any
I'll
questions,
take others, and we'll turn to Dylan.
then what's the point?
As a former lawmaker, can you just talk generally about what the laws are in Wisconsin in terms of children's access to guns?
Our laws in Wisconsin are far too lax when it comes to access of guns by children.
Okay.
And I do believe that we should have safe storage laws. We should have background checks. We should have red flag bills. We should be providing adequate support for everyone in our community when it comes to behavioral health. People should not be waiting when they raise their hand and ask for help. And there should not be stigma surrounding people who are asking for that help. Our schools should be adequately funded. Our Department of Justice has an Office of School Safety. They don't have enough resources, and that is on the legislature. There is a lot of action that can be taken in the Wisconsin State Capitol, but this is a conversation that needs to happen from coast to coast. We need partners in our federal government to also address this, because states have borders and people can cross them.
True. Let me. I'm gonna end it right there, because I feel like, first off, it's very frustrating because, with all due respect, I get it. Elected officials need to say their thing. They have things they got to talk about and all that stuff. But there's a part of me that's kind of like, okay, you've had several press conferences. You're saying the same thing over and over again, especially when you're doing a press conference and they're going, we can't tell you anything. We can't answer any questions. All we can tell you is, we are doing the investigation. We're in the middle of an investigation. And I get it. I appreciate the transparency that they have been presenting as of late. But do we really need to hear from the mayor? And I don't know what her position is. I'm sorry. But do we need to hear it again? With all due respect, it's just them up there politically, doing the same BS. You know what I mean? It's like, we need to change how we do things. It's like, okay, don't tell us. Don't jump on here. So if this is something that needed to change a long time ago, go do something. Make a bill or something. Make something happen. Try to make changes. Like you've been saying, how many speeches do you need? Yes, pontificating. That's exact. Yes. Thank you, Scott. From downtown. Thank you. Yes, just pontificating. You know what I'm saying? It's like, exactly. It is what it is. Have a town meeting. Okay. Have a town meeting. Do your thing. We don't need to have you doing speeches every single time that the chief of police shows up to give us updates. It doesn't show that you don't care. It shows that, like, you said what you said. You already said what you said. So when they come back, maybe it's more periodical, like more of a periodic type of thing, more of a sporadic thing. Okay. Maybe it's more sporadic rather than every single time they go up, you got to make this speech. All of them have to. And it seems like their speech is getting longer and longer. Again, pontificating. Perfect. Pontificating. And it's like, all right, bruh, we heard you. Things need to change for sure. I'm with you 110%. Talking about it is one thing. Doing something about it is a completely different thing. And I want to see that things being done. I want to see action, not words, not pontificating. Do it. Now, the original why we all came here in the first doggone place is right here. Chief of police saying his thing. But what sucks is that he said not much, to be really honest. What did he say? One thing he corrected, which was the only real correction or only real thing throughout this entire thing that was a fact, is that now it's not a second grade student. It was a second grade teacher that made the phone call, which that mistake can happen. Mistakes do happen. It's all good. All right. Then, of course, they say that the motive, the reason why Natalie, Samantha, Rupnow went and did what she did is because, well, they said that it's a combination of factors. Her motive was a combination of factors. It wasn't just one thing. It was a combination of different things. But what sucks about this and what's tragic about this is that he's like, can't answer no questions. Can't answer any questions right now. Can't answer any questions after this press briefing. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I'm like, damn. And he booked it. As soon as he was done, he was out the door. I don't know why. Maybe he was angry about not being able to give us much. Or he's busy trying to figure this whole thing out for the people out there in these streets. Let's not forget that too. So maybe he's like, I got things to do. But I'm going to give you guys this because I'm going to be as transparent with y'all as I possibly can be. But things are still developing. One thing is for sure, though. They said I need to drink some water, Wanda. Now I gotta drink some water. But here's the thing, okay? No. Cuba Gooding Jr. in that interview needed to get some water. Okay, that mother lover sounded dry. But moving back into this conversation, one thing is for sure that they said here is that they do not know if that manifesto is actually hers. They do not know. So whatever's being circulated out here in these streets, we got to hold tight, hold off until they actually confirm it being hers. It could be anybody's. They still don't have everything, all the information yet. It's still unraveling in real time. The other thing that he said is everyone was a target. It wasn't a targeted attempt. They wanted to come in and do bad. Okay? This person wanted, this assailant, this monster wanted to walk in there and unalive people. That's all they wanted to do. There was no real target. That's what they're saying so far. Everyone was a target. This is the other thing that's really jacked up. This has also happened during Colt Gray's attack as well. People were calling other schools and threatening tragedies to happen at those schools too. So that's the other thing he said. We're doing everything we can to look up and trace those phone calls because we got a bunch of phone calls from other schools and they were all getting threatened attacks as well, which is just a bunch of jerk-offs being jerk-offs. Real talk. It's not like they were planning on doing anything crazy like a multi-school tragedy attack. Nah. Just jerk-offs being jerk-offs. Trolls being trolls. That's all it is so far. That's what they know so far. Okay? So yes, lots of false threats were made. Lots of them at various schools. And then really, that's it. Boom goes the dynamite. That's it, y'all. That's it. It was a nothing burger, which is frustrating because the one that had the most information, the press conference that had the most information was the one that I missed. Literally. The one that I didn't get a chance to get get on live with you guys is the one that had the most information. It's ridiculous. And I get it. They don't have everything. Oh, somebody else said this too, which I agree with. And it's a possibility. What if they're not giving out all the information right now because they're still investigating the parents? And those parents might get charged. And maybe they don't want to give out too much information right off the bat because they're looking at some people. And they don't want to sit there and go, yeah, we are talking with the parents. And then the parents try to run. Or something of that sort. Or whoever else might be attached to this situation is trying to kick rocks. Anything's possible. So they may not be giving out too much information right now because it's still very, very brand new. And we're still in the embryo stasis of this whole thing. They're also still trying to figure out who the heck is Natalie Samantha Rupnow. Who the hell is this person? And why did she do what she did? They still don't know why. What her history is, if she has a history of mental health issues, if she had any behavioral issues in school. They're still doing all of that to figure out everything. It has only been a little over 24 hours. This whole thing happened yesterday. So a lot of things are still going to be developing as it continues. And we should be understanding of that and be a little patient on that. It does suck when they go, we're going to have this press conference today at 1, and then everyone's like, ooh, they're about to drop bombshells of information. And then they go, we can't give you much information. All we can say is she liked drinking water. Oh. And when she when she had to go to school, she went to school. Wait, there's more. There is a motive. But we can't tell you that right now. Like, it's like, what? Thank you, I guess. So we'll find out more information. More information is going to happen. We're here to answer your questions, but we can't answer no questions. Thank y'all for coming. God bless you. Good night. Like, what? Come on, man. Come on, man. So, but I get it. They have a lot going on. They have a lot to break down. You never know, because in the other interview that I was sharing and showing you guys, he said it even in the interview. He's like, we about to have a press conference. I'll play it for you too. We're gonna have a press conference at 1. We'll be able to answer a few more questions, so on and so forth. He didn't answer none of those questions, but it may be because of something, though. Let me just say this: there may have been new information that just hit him, and he's like, ooh, we got a lot of big information, but I can't give that information yet because it hasn't been confirmed. So that might be it. You know, the interview that he had first thing this morning, right here, okay, on News Nation. Shout out to News Nation. You know, he said one thing, and then we saw a completely different press conference with basically no information whatsoever, except for that it wasn't a second grade student, it was a second grade teacher that made the phone call. That's the only thing. But I get it. There's some movement going on. I'm sure there's a lot of information that they have not given out quite yet, and they're about to give it. They're about to drop it like it's hot. But let me tell you this, though. Notice they're sitting there going, yeah, the family's cooperating. Does a home have to be ripped? Does the door of a home have to be ripped off its hinges if the family's cooperating? Look at that. You could see, like, the siding is ripped off. The frame of the door is all mucked up. Look at that. And it's Wisconsin. You know for a fact it's cold up there. So there's going to be another press conference, I'm sure, by the end of the day. And when they drop that information, it's going to drop. They're going to have a little bit more information, I'm sure. And I hope that they do. Because if they keep having these press conferences like this, no one's going to attend them. No one's going to watch them. So they're doing everything they can for sure and trying to figure this whole thing out. But look at that. Look at that. Look, you see it right there. Look where my mouse is. You see that right here in the middle? They ripped the hell out that door. And I get it. It's a no BS type of situation. You never know. Maybe nobody was answering the door. The house could have been empty. That's true. That's possible too. Both parents could be working, both at work. That's possible too. But if somebody was home and nobody answered the door, they just ripped the hinges off that mug. Woo! That says something to me too. But they say that the parents are cooperating. They're being cooperative. So something up. Yeah, sun worshiper. Okay. Off the hinges, straight up. So we'll see. But let me roll this back a little bit so you guys can hear some of this convo with the chief of police. Okay, check this out.
Is to make sure that any parent around the country that's wondering what their child is involved in, and we can provide information that we do that. We have to do everything in our power to prevent these from happening again and again and again in our country.
Yeah. What more did you find at the shooter's home? I know you say parents are cooperating right now. Anything else that you found at the home that you can share with us this morning, or even any more insights into how that gun was procured?
Well, we have working with our partners at the ATF to expedite what's called an ATF trace form, and that will give us some idea of the origins of that weapon. We're looking into various possibilities that perhaps the weapon was in the home, or perhaps.
Look at that. I'm sorry. Weapon was possibly at the home, which clearly, yeah, this is probably at the home. I don't think she went and stole this thing. She definitely didn't go and buy it. She's not of age. Okay. But she's 15, not 17. She's 15, guys. So, of course, she's not going to be able to go and get a weapon like that. Not at all. But look at the side. They busted through that house, yo. They were not playing. Look at that. Door off the hinges. And then the window just busted wide open. Come on now. They were not playing. And of course, I'm sure they may have knocked on her door, on the family's door. And they may not have. They may have just went right in there because it's a matter of life and death. And this home could have been, filled with all types of boom booms, of devices that go boom. Anything's possible. This is a no BS type of situation. So, and then they did say that they heard, a neighbor said they heard 3 loud or 1 loud bang. Other neighbors said that they heard 3 in total loud bangs. That could be them just trying to open up the door. It could be somebody just said fire sword, just said flashbangs. That could be it too. Flashbangs could have been used. As soon as they ripped open the door, they tore the door off the hinges and threw some flashbangs in there. That could be it too, because you never know who you're going to meet on the other side of that door. So they came in ready. They were not playing. Don't blame them either.
The weapon may have been given to her from someone else. We don't know. But we're going to look into that today and hopefully be able to bring some answers. Everyone is eager to know why this happened, and we may never know. The person who's responsible, unfortunately, took their own life yesterday. But the idea is to make sure that we can do everything we can to prevent this from happening and give parents as much information, give school officials as much information, and arm our community with as much information as possible.
Before we get to her question, you really, really think, do you really, really think this girl didn't leave something behind? If she was glorifying all of these, if she was allegedly glorifying all of these, these monsters and allegedly these serial monsters as well, not only just school monsters, but also serial monsters as well, you really don't think she didn't leave something behind? You really don't think she left something behind? If she's glorifying these people, wearing their T-shirts, trying to mimic these the specific individuals, for a fact she left something behind. Now, is it the thing that was online, that was on the internet that everybody has been seeing and all that and resharing and talking about it and quoting it and everything? I don't know. It's possible. But I don't think she would just go and do all this without any sort of explanation. Because if she glorifies these particular individuals, she wants to be a part of that history too. Think about it. You don't think she wants to be out here in the limelight, in the list of the notorious? Are you kidding me? She's gonna do everything she can to make sure somebody gets their hands on it. There's no way a copycat or someone who idolizes monsters like this is just going to do it and not leave some sort of message behind. Ain't no way, because they want to get on the same roster as these other ones that they idolize. Think about that. Think about that. Let me let her talk.
Tell me more about the 15-year-old, this Natalie Rupnow, who went by the name Samantha. Was this somebody that the school or even local law enforcement had on their radar? Any red flags in the past?
Thank you. Good question.
No, we did not have her on our radar. And to the issue of red flags, there is a system here in Wisconsin, 1-800 number that you can call if you think someone may be going down this route, and they'll immediately be connected with services. But that's the thing about these school shootings. A lot of times you find out after the fact. We've seen that across the country. And then you put pieces together. So we're trying to do that here and maybe, just maybe, provide a blueprint for everyone else in the country to pay attention to so we can prevent these from.
Thanks for watching.
And he's not wrong. But at the same time, I feel like there have been plenty of blueprints out here. Plenty. And I'm not trying to be like, all negative and stuff, okay? But there have been plenty of programs. There have been, not programs, but blueprints, plenty. And have we learned from them? Have we changed our ways, ladies and germs? I feel the proof is in the pudding. We see this all the time. This is the 84th, if I'm correct, school tragedy in the year 2024. So clearly we haven't learned a damn thing. We keep repeating the same thing over and over again. She's sorry for the pausing her there. It's almost like she's in the middle of a laugh. Oh, but anyway, still something about this. I'm just like, all right, I appreciate this police officer sitting here saying like, enough is enough. But we should have been saying that years ago, guys. And there's a lot of things that should have been implemented years ago that we have not even been implemented. The other thing too is, notice we're going to hear something. I guarantee you, we're going to hear something very, very soon. You know what we're going to hear? We're going to hear a story. We're going to hear a story about this kid. We are this little monster. We're going to hear a story about this kid. And we're going to hear that she has expressed mental health issues. Red flags all the live long day. Wait for it. We're going to find out about that with the quickness. And it was just things that were just completely ignored. Same thing that happened with Colt Gray. Same thing that happened with Ethan Crumbley. And the other ones, there's plenty of other names. Those are just the ones that have been thrust into the spotlight. There have been 83, 84 unalivings or tragedies at schools that have to do with kid monsters walking into the school with some sort of firearm and opening fire on students and teachers and faculty. And what has happened? Nothing. But we're going to find out every time that those people had some sort of 15 different red flags that popped off and no one did a damn thing. And then this thing will just keep on going over and over and over again. Look at Ethan. Ethan was told to go home. Ethan Crumbley. Parents said, nah, he all right. Let him go back into school. He's fine. He'll be all right. He goes back into school, and what does he do? Colt Gray was having clear mental health issues. Should have stayed home, not gone to school. He needed help. And what happened? Now put him in the school. Finally gets into the school the very next day. Brakakaka. But he was also somebody who was out here threatening to do things. Remember, we saw the body cam footage. Cops went on over to his home, knocked on his father's chamber door. Pops showed up in his skivvies and was like, what's going on? Don't know why he was in his underwear just like that, but he was out there. He was out there. They interviewed him, and he was sitting there going, no, I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of that. I didn't do, no, you got it all wrong. No. That's wrong. And what happens? Flash forward a little while later, second day of school, if I'm correct, his second day of school, tragedy ensues. There was plenty of heads up about that kid, and nothing happened. Nothing was done to prevent that BS from happening. So again, I guarantee you, we're going to hear some information about this girl. Some of y'all are already sitting here putting out things going, oh, she's an extreme feminist. She's a radicalized feminist. I don't know anything about that. All I know is that we all can agree on this. She woke up and she chose violence that day. That's number one for sure. Number two, this is somebody that was filled with nothing but hate and wanted to do something bad. We can all agree on that. And now we can all agree on the fact that this is a girl who woke up and did what she did. That's it. So as soon as, of course, we can all sit here and say, oh, yeah, we need to implement this. We need to do this. We keep saying those things, but what do we see? We see nothing change. That's why I get sick and tired and annoyed and I get it that they have to, do their thing, but sometimes it feels like they're just kind of painting by numbers when it comes to these speeches by our elected officials. It's like, I got to show face. And so I got to put in my 5-minute speech, sometimes 10 minutes, to talk about the same stuff that we've been talking about since Columbine. And what happens? Nothing. So I'm wondering when it's going to change. But I will tell you this. This kid, I'm sure, had some signs of not being fair, not doing well. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, it's the school's fault. It may not even be the school. Let's talk about the parents real quick. And I'm not trying to attack the parents, but let's talk about the parents. It's the parents. They're the ones that are with their kids every day, for the most part, 24/7. It all starts at home, right? What is it like when you're working out and you're trying to get in good shape, right? They say 80% of it happens in the kitchen. Same thing. Kids are going to school. They're getting super smart. But 80% of that smart, how they interact with the world and all that stuff, 80% of that diet of becoming a good human being, a good person, comes from home. So you mean to tell me it's just her going to school and that's it? No, there are red flags everywhere. I'm telling you, they're going to have red flags at home. You're telling me she's wearing this shirt. She's taking a photo of this shirt. She's taking a photo in this shirt. You're telling me she didn't. You're telling me she didn't. The parents didn't even look it up for a second. It starts at home, guys. If it's not red flags being shown at school and she just flew under the radar and she just kept to herself and all that, she was just maybe she was a loner. You never know. A loner, stayed to herself and all that. Never gotten it in any type of disciplinary problems of any kind at school. But you're telling me at home there was no red flags whatsoever? Yo, I'm telling you, that doesn't make sense. Also, let's not forget this too. She's right here with the pew pew. She's in part of a gun club. Here's the other thing too. Look at the shirt. Doesn't that look a little familiar? So you're with her. I'm assuming Pops or Mama is with her because she can't be running around here with a weapon without some sort of parental guidance. So somebody's taking a photo of her in this shirt. You're telling me the parents don't know about this? Parents have no clue. I'd be looking that up. Who is KMFDM? I'm looking it up with so fast. I'm looking that up. I'm Googling that. And I'm like, whoa, honey, what is that? Why are you wearing this shirt? What's up with that? I'm like, come here, talk to me. Come on, let's talk. No, I'm not mad. I swear, I'm not mad. I just want to know what's up with this shirt. You know that this shirt is from this thing. I looked it up. Takes 2 seconds to Google it. What's up with that? Why are you wearing this right now? Because as soon as I look it up and I go, oh, damn, it has connections to the Columbine thing, that's not good. Instantly in my mind, I'm thinking, and I'm going, hey, we need to sit down. We need to talk right now. No, it is a band. But if it has something to do, if there's any connection to Columbine, yeah, I'm going to ask some questions. Okay? I'm for sure going to be asking some questions. KMFDM. Hold on. We just read it in that article. Well, let's see. KMFDM. Boom. Interesting. The name of the band, KMFDM, comes from the German phrase, I don't do German, but which translates, it comes from a German phrase, which translates to no majority for the pity. The band later confirmed that the phrase actually means no pity for the majority. So the band's founder came up with the name in 1984 while looking for a motto for a show opening for an art exhibit in Paris. He cut out words from a German newspaper and put them in a hat, then randomly selected these words that formed that phrase. So, moving on. Let's see here. So the band, hold on, let me share this. Of course, this is from AI on Google, but they're saying the German band whose name is an acronym for no pity for the majority or no remorse for the masses. The band was a fascination for Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, the two monsters that were involved or responsible for the Columbine massacre. The band released a statement after the massacre to denounce the violence, express sympathy for the victims and their families, and to clarify that they had no funny mustache guy ties. Because some people instantly think, oh, this has something to do with, okay? The crooked symbol of hate. How about that? The band's name and these monsters' interest in it led to discussions about how violent images and lyrics affect young people. Yeah, I mean, I even remember back then as well, they were going after Marilyn Manson. They were going after Eminem as well, because they were like, oh, yeah, all this music is inspiring these kids to do very, very bad things. So again, hold on, guys. Come on. So apparently this German band had a song called Stray Bullet, was connected to this particular 1999 high school massacre at Columbine. So, wow, that's interesting. The song lyrics include "I'm Your Nightmare Coming True" and "Stray Bullet from the Barrel of Love." And of course, this is a song that was idolized and loved by those two that did that unthinkable thing at Columbine. Now she's wearing that shirt. And I'm telling you right now, I'd be looking those things up and asking questions because I'd want to know what the hell's that's all about. And her parents obviously have lived on this planet, I'm assuming, long enough to know about Columbine. Okay? So this is very interesting. Now, as far as they also said, because somebody just said, stop hiding the manifesto. They have not confirmed whether or not the manifesto that is out here circulating on the internet is connected to this assailant. They have not said that at all yet. So they are still trying to figure that whole thing out too. Again, this is some crazy stuff. No matter what, this is just, yeah, Lena, it's like, We've all listened to Eminem, some version of Eminem, the pop radio music stuff that we've heard with the real Slim Shady, Please Stand Up, all the way down to his most recent stuff. And all of us are not running around just unaliving people. So, that's the thing. Plenty of people have grown up listening to Marilyn Manson and not gone off and done some crazy, unthinkable, deplorable things either. So that's the thing. I remember that being the huge conversation back in the day, because there were other games like Doom and stuff like that where they're like, oh, it's the video games. It's the video games and the music. That's what's messing all these kids up. That's what's making them want to run around and do all these things. And it's like, no, it's no. It's not. It's called mental health. It's mental health. It's mental health, because there's plenty of kids that are not dealing with mental health issues like that are that severe, that are listening to the same songs, and they're not doing anything. They're just listening to the songs. Okay, while those monsters are idolizing things like that and plotting tragedies, most of us were busy trying to figure out where we were going to get the next hookup on booze, or how to get laid. That's like, if you were in high school, that's literally what you were doing, trying to get laid or trying to get the next hookup for the party, get that keg or whatever the hell it was. At least that's what it was back in the day. Nowadays, I don't know. The kids are crazy. Kids are crazy. But it was simpler times back in the day. All right. Back in the day, it was just, trying to have fun, not, oh, I got a great idea. Let's wear some trench coats and just light up a school. Nah. I'm just saying, we all have been influenced by those same types of songs. And how are we all doing? How are we all doing? I'm just saying, I'm doing just fine. How about you? So that's the thing, which is just saying. Now, those same people who are producing and giving those songs out to us, now some of them are being locked up, and because they were disgusting and disturbing individuals, allegedly. All right. But they were also putting out that kind of music. They were too. So I don't know. Like I said, this is the other reason why I say don't do drugs, kids. Just say no, because I think that stuff takes us down a very, very, very dark tunnel. And sometimes you never get out, just like the diddler. For a fact, if he wasn't running that life like that, constantly on something and everything, trust me, he would. Nah, there'd be no videotapes or him putting his hands on people. Let's be real. He wouldn't be locked up right now. Be a completely different situation. But hey, these are the breaks. Let it come to him. I know that's a little bit of a left turn on what we're talking about, but like I said, I don't think it's the art that is influencing the masses, because if it was influencing us like that, then all of us would be out here unaliving everybody. We'd all be going after each other in some crazy way, but we're not. We're not. This is definitely, for sure, a mental health issue. And on top of it, too easily accessible. It's too easy to get your hands on a weapon. And isn't it convenient? And I'm putting her face back up here. Isn't it convenient? I'm on my soapbox for a second. I apologize. I'm not sorry. But isn't it convenient that we hear this same story over and over again? Hear me out. We have a tragedy at a school. Multiple people injured, multiple people unalived. Then we find out name, now at this point, gender, age. We get all that stuff. Then we finally find out, oh, this person had some serious mental health issues. But he or she now have family members that have been handing them weapons, putting them literally in their hands. But there's clearly, we don't know everything yet on this monster here. But isn't it funny how we always seem to know that it's like this is a child that has some mental health issues, and suddenly they're just going, here. The parents are going, here, kid, have a weapon, enjoy yourself. When there's clearly a mental health issue going on. I'm sorry, I'm just, in my personal opinion, that's where it starts off too. You got a mental health issue and it still seems like, no, here's a gun, son. You'll be fine. You're a man now. This will straighten you out. Take this. Forget therapy. That's for wusses. Take the gun. You're a man now. And then what do? They go off and they do something unthinkable. Because now they have very easily accessible access to a weapon, a very deadly weapon. Instead of, hey, son or daughter, now, we need to go and do some therapy. Let's go sit down and talk to somebody. It's all good. If you don't want to talk to me, I understand that. You're worried about me judging you. That's fine. Let's go sit down. I got somebody. He or she, this doctor is really fantastic. Let's see what's going on with you. That's not what's happening. Instead, it's, let me give you that rifle, daughter. Man, you're a hell of a shot. But you clearly know that your daughter is having mental health issues, and you think that the best therapy is handing them a weapon. This is a story that we're hearing all the time. Ethan Crumbly, there were plenty of breadcrumbs leading to and showing that this child was not well in his mind. And the family did not, just completely ignored it. Still had weapons strewn about the house, easily accessible weapons, sitting on coffee tables, just sitting out on bed, end tables of in bedrooms and stuff like that. Not giving a damn about his mental health. Same thing with Colt. We're going to hear the same thing. I'm telling you right now, we're going to hear the same story here. She clearly had some mental health issues, or she was the best actress in the history of acting. And so at face value, she was fine. But telling me that she's doing just fine, if she's wearing shirts like this, you're telling me she's doing fine if she's wearing shirts like this? That's the problem. Yes, Soybean, the gun culture is a problem. And I'm not sitting here saying that you can't have your weapon, your rights. Absolutely. Do you, boo-boo. Protect yourself. Protect your castle. But I'm telling you right now, when you have a daughter or son that has mental health issues and it's clear as day that they have mental health issues, hey, here's an idea. Don't give them a pew-pew. How's that? Huh? How about that? That's not going to be the end all. That's not like suddenly they have the weapon in their hand and they're okay now. Everything's fine. Everything seems to make sense now. I know my purpose. Actually, that's bad too. See what I just said? Just like 2 seconds ago. That was bars. That's not good. That's not good. I'm dead serious. That is no bueno. Don't do that. Here's your weapon, kid. Oh, now I know my purpose. Writing a manifesto, walking into a school, opening fire on a bunch of people, and then turning it on yourself. That's what they suddenly believe their purpose is. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, we are going to hear some stuff here very, very soon. They're going to give us a lot of stuff. We're going to see a lot of stuff here, and we're going to find out a lot, and it's not going to be good. And I'm telling you, there will be some sort of breadcrumbs leading towards some sort of red flags. I don't think that this girl just hid in plain sight and did nothing. We're going to find out some things, and it just may be things that all were percolating at home. That could very well be what it is. At school, she could have been very saintly, She could have been very good. Did everything by the book, kept to herself though, and all that. But when she was home, it was a completely different person. That's still a possibility. And then, of course, you have parents that are that romanticize this cold steel, these weapons, and then she learned how to use them. And then suddenly, now she knows what her purpose is. Instead of actually getting the help that she rightfully deserves. Because to me, she does not look like she is well. And I mean, this is not the greatest photo of her. It's not like it's a school photo or anything, but it does seem that she does look a little bit like something's wrong. She doesn't seem balanced to me. It's a damn shame, y'all. It's a damn shame. But there were red flags. And we're going to find out more here soon enough. Breezy, thank you so much for the love. Sam could be her middle name. Well, we found out that her middle name is Lynn. So it's not that. But I do understand what you mean, because there's plenty of people that go by their middle name instead of their first name. That's very true. You know, so your nephew's name is Christian Calum. Good name. And so he goes by Calum. I get that. There's a lot of Chris's out there in the world. So, yeah, I get it. You know, I probably would have done the same thing if probably would have done the same thing, right? And I can see a lot of people doing that. And I can see any person out here. We live in a world where people are trying to be unique and different and stand out. And some people don't like their names, which is such a heartbreaking thing to hear. Because, you know, you're bringing this child into the world and you're saying, I name thee Natalie. And then they, you know, when they hit 15, they're like, actually, my name's Samantha now. It's like, damn, you don't like the name I gave you? Well, shoot. Okay. All right. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do, you know? But it is interesting that she went by Samantha instead of Natalie. Still don't understand that, but we're going to find out what that's all about for sure. Okay. But moving on, Chef Apples, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being a member for the past 9 months. I appreciate it. A no-knock warrant would be a reason they pulled the door off. That's true. That is true. In this kind of situation, they're going to rip the door off the hinges without a shadow of a doubt, because this is there's no time to knock on the door and be nice. A tragedy just happened. That house could go boom, boom. There could be people unalived in there. There could be people holed up in there. Anything's possible. So it's like, no, we gonna break the damn thing off the damn side of this damn house to make sure everybody's okay, because we ain't got time for the niceties. So that's probably what happened there too. We love you, Pascal. I love you too. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But again, something's up. Okay. And that's true. Eva skeptic. No, you ain't wrong. Definitely. And but you know, like I said, they may have pulled this photo up and put this up not only just because of the t-shirt, but also because of the look that she has in her eye. It does seem a little bit off. She does seem a little bit off in that photo. But at the same time, like I said before, this is just one of the many photos I'm sure that they have out there on the social medias of this young monster. Let's just be real. But again, only time will tell. We're going to see more here very, very soon. But again, guys, more red flags are going to be presenting themselves here very, very soon. Get ready for it. But I feel like it's going to be a lot of things we've already heard a million times before. In fact, 84 times this year already. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It means a lot. More information will be coming out soon enough. Get ready for it. We will find out the confirmation about that manifesto, if it's the real thing or not. Just you wait. Let's wait for the information first and foremost before we start jumping the gun. Okay? So please do me a favor. before you head out, hit that like button down below, please and thank you. That would really mean the world to me. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button, crush it, do what it do. That would be amazing as well. And yes, all y'all drink water. Get some water in you, all right? Don't forget to do that. Drink that water, because some of y'all are sounding dry. So drink that water. Hit that subscribe button on this channel. Go to the secondary channel. Crush that subscribe button. The Pascal Show clips. That'll be amazing. Also, check out my membership by hitting that join button down below. Check out my Patreon and my locals. That'll be amazing. Also, check out PascalMerch.com so you can get some sweatshirts and t-shirts, kind of like what I'm wearing right now. Go check it out. I'm sure you'll find something you'll love over there. And, of course, I got that GoFundMe. It's linked to the top of the chat. It's also in the description box down below, okay? So, anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I appreciate all y'all. Keep your head up. Stay positive out there. And I'll be talking to you guys very soon. Stay blessed out there. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. We'll talk soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.